Timket, Ethiopia's most vibrant and spiritual festival. Ethiopia has many holidays, Christian holidays, Muslim holidays, some tribal holidays that the world needs to experience. Today we're going to be talking about Timket, Ethiopia's Epiphany. This video is all about Timket, the most festive holiday in Ethiopia, and our next video is going to be about Meskel, finding the true cross, and one of also most colorful festive holidays in Ethiopia with huge bonfire. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Ethiopia started celebrating Epiphany or Timket 1,490 years ago. So this is one of the earliest celebrations that we started, and we celebrate just like everybody at churches and stuff. And then about 538 years ago, the Ethiopian king declared that everybody should accompany the Tabot, which we'll talk about what it is, to a river or to a water area where it rests there for a night, blesses the water, and everybody gets baptized. So Epiphany, for everybody that doesn't know, is where you get baptized, but because of Jesus getting baptized in the river Jordan. In 2019, Timket, the Ethiopian Epiphany, was officially recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage event. So that's a huge thing for Ethiopia. As I said, we've been celebrating it this way for 538 years now, so that's a very significant thing. The first day is when we take the Tabot from the church into the field that it rests on. So every church in Ethiopia has what they call the Tabot. The Tabot, a sacred replica of the Ark of the Covenant, holds profound significance in Ethiopian Orthodox worship. Kept inside the church throughout the year, it is revealed during special occasions like Timket, the celebration of Jesus Christ's baptism, and other holy feast days, carried in a grand procession. And the Tabot represents both the Old Covenant, where the Ark housed God's law, and the New Covenant, fulfilled through Christ's sacrifice. At Timket, it is brought to water, reenacting Christ's baptism in the Jordan River. The water becomes blessed, offering renewal of faith and spiritual cleansing for all who gather. Those of you interested in history, it's believed actual Ark of the Covenant is in the northern part of Ethiopia in a church. So we have a long history with Ark of Covenant and it being in Ethiopia, and a copy of it that is in every church. So one of the holiest things about that is during Timket, the Tabot, which leaves the church, it is very holy, so it's decorated in amazing, colorful, the whole parade, the whole priests and deacons and everybody follows it, chanting very spiritual songs and stuff like that. So that gets taken out of the church in a large, very colorful, very festive, very spiritual way. It gets taken to a field that's already been determined, where each church has its own place that it goes and rests. So it's a whole parade of taking it from the church to a field that it rests on for the night and spends the time. So that's the eve of Timket. During the parade and everything, men have a way of getting their women's attention that they like, and that's by throwing them a lemon. So if she likes the guy, she looks at the guy and she likes the guy, she takes it and smells it. So, and that's a beautiful way of catching somebody's attention and trying to meet up later on. And then the next day is when in the morning on the field the priests pray the Tabot and bless the water, and then we get sprayed by the water, and then most of the churches take their Tabot back to the church, and then there's 2 or 3 that stay behind for religious practices and come back 2 days later or a day later. And then after the spraying of the water and everybody getting kind of baptized, everybody leads the Tabot back to its church. And then once it gets into the church, then everybody then does the modern way of celebration, which is everybody, friends and families, and everybody gets together We go out, eat Ethiopian traditional food, which is amazing, and then drinking, and the whole mood, the whole city, the whole area is really festive even after that, because everybody's in a really great mood, everybody's dressed up in cultural clothing, and everybody is hanging out, laughing, hanging out. So that's why it's one of the most festive holidays. So Timket is a very festive holiday in Ethiopia throughout the whole country, but each region, Ethiopia has about 26 different tribes and regions on the whole thing. So we celebrate in slightly different ways. Addis is a very big parade from the Madianalam Church, which is one of the main churches in Africa, the third largest. And then Lalibela is the Rockwind churches of Ethiopia, built to be the second Jerusalem. So there it's very festive also, and it's very beautiful. It's very different because they surround the church, the priests surround the church and pray around it, and the whole thing is beautiful. And then in Gondar is another region of Ethiopia where it's highly celebrated. Also, one of the kings of Ethiopia, ancient, about 400 years ago, they had castles down there. There's a specific castle that we go to for Timket because it's a castle built around a pool. So once the water is blessed and everybody surrounds it, and then when the priest gives you a go-ahead, you jump into a huge swimming pool. So that's a very different forms of celebration. Instead of being sprayed by the water, here you're jumping into the pool. And different regions have different ones. Down south, there's areas where you go to a lake and you jump into the lake once it's blessed. So it's very festive, and everybody has their own forms of celebrating it throughout the different regions in Ethiopia. As Timket is a very festive holiday, it's one of the biggest holidays in Ethiopia. If you're planning to come, make sure you book in advance in order to get place, hotels, and accommodation. And make sure you check us out at the Gen Ethiopia Tours, and we're happy to help you, guide you through planning your trip, booking your whole trip for you, or whatever you need to come to Ethiopia, we have it. Go to thegenethiopiatours.com. So I hope you enjoyed this video all about Timket. We love Ethiopia, and you will love it too.